And tonight we have a fantastic artist with a fantastic story. I first heard him many, many years ago, I think in Florida, I think in Miami, Miami Beach. And then, when did you move to the United States?
July 1998.
98.
Yeah.
So, and then when did you start? We had Yerba Buena here in Aspen, I think, 99.
Yes.
Yes. And that was your first, for those of you who don't know, Pedrito founded very soon after coming an incredible group called Yerba Buena. The first time I heard about him was with this group, with a great singer, Cucu Diamantes. I'll never forget Cucu. And he performed with this group when we didn't have anything called the Jazz Cafe over at the St. Regis in that side room that's been through so many different incarnations over the years. And anyway, so tell us a little bit about Yerba Buena and just the start, how that started and what that meant to the start of your career. And
actually, Yerba Buena, hi, how you all doing? How are you? Thanks a lot for being here. Yerba Buena was a group that Andres Levin, the producer of that group from Venezuela, he did that group with all the musicians from New York City, and most of us were from Cuba. Mm-hmm. And it was like an alternative group. It was like more like house music and world music, actually. Mm-hmm. And he had a lot of electronic instruments on it, but it was very live, and it was a big show. He had a lot of horns, and it was a very powerful group. All the compositions were original, mm-hmm. and I was a big part of it, of the composition. Mm-hmm. So that group had, it was nominated for the Grammys. We have a lot of collaboration with big artists, and it was amazing. It was an amazing period of time for my career. I learned a lot from Andres, which is an amazing producer. Yeah. And it was great, man.
Nice. Okay. So as a teen, I read this and I wanted to ask you, as a teenager, when you were growing up in Havana, some of your favorite bands were Led Zeppelin, The Meters, and Stevie Wonder. Yeah. And the way that you heard them was through a scratchy radio, very, very weak, that came from the Florida Keys 90 miles away. And you were quoted saying you had to put your ear close to the radio, and it was a terrible connection. You had to play it soft. The police or government workers caught you listening, you could go to jail. Yeah. So tell us about tell us about this.
Well, actually, I don't know, a lot of people are familiar with the situation in Cuba back in the days. Now it's a little bit better, but when I used to live in Cuba, it was illegal to listen to any American music. But it's so funny because Cuban music have a big influence of American music. Funk, jazz, rock. And in my school, I have a lot of friends that used to love AC/DC, Queen, Led Zeppelin, wow. Bruce Springsteen, a lot of artists, from the United States. And I have this little radio from Cuba. We call it Selena radio. And the quality was terrible. Mm-hmm. And we used to listen to this type of, music really close to the radio, because you cannot even hear the quality too good. But it was an amazing experience, man. But at the same time, it was hard, because with the economic and political situation in Cuba was very hard to being able to go to schools, music, or to play with the people that you really want to play. It was hard for me, but I'm here already.
But, and you heard, yeah, you're here, man. You are really here. Pedrito has been called the most happening ambassador for Cuban music now, and there have been many, many through the years. But Pedrito, actually, tell us a little bit. I understand you've been back to Havana now more in recent years, and I'm interested to know, and then I'm going to ask your group something about rumba, but tell us a little bit about what you're hearing, what's happening in Havana, who you like to hear in Havana, and have they come to the United States, and just what it's like to go back for you now.
First of all, I'm so happy that the relation between the United States and Cuba, it's getting better and better. And a lot of tourists and a lot of people from here that were so excited to go to Cuba are going to Cuba right now. Actually, my first record with this group, I did it in Cuba, in a great studio called Egren. That's the studio where Buena Vista Social Club did the record.
Wow.
So it was amazing recording. I have a lot of guests. Winter Marsalis, Steve Guy was the producer of the record.
Wow.
John Scofield's on the record, and that recording was nominated for the Grammy. It was an amazing record, beautiful experience. But Cuban music never stopped. It's a big shame now. They doing a lot of reggaeton in there, and mixing folklore with jazz and with Cuban music. It's just different period of time, and the music's going to another direction. But it's so good.
So you mentioned something, and I don't know how many people are really aware of this, music from Cuba today called reggaeton. Have you heard? Raise your hand if you've actually heard of this. Not much. Can you? I don't know. Your group is not playing, or can you?
No, actually, reggaeton is a movement that born in the United States, not in Cuba.
Okay.
Puerto Rican people, make this genre of music very famous. It's getting, there. Everybody's into.
What is it a fusion of? Where is it coming from?
It's not like a live music. It's not with instrument. People just do it with some recording, some loops and all that. And it's like rapping, but in Spanish. So it's interesting, and it got so popular. Like Daddy Yankee, I can mention many of them. In Cuba, we're doing the same thing, but with instruments. We're trying to do it more like as a Cuban style. It's nice.
So I was communicating with your manager, Paul, very nice man, and he was saying that rumba, which you're doing a lot of, is really growing a lot right now in popularity. And I don't know so much in Cuba, but in the States and maybe in Europe. And talk a little bit about the rumba.
Yeah, rumba is an urban genre that we invented in Cuba. That genre born in Cuba, and a lot of people are getting into it because it's very sweet and powerful. You always dance with a woman, and you're trying to ¿cómo tú dices? Seducirla? Seduce. It's a very romantic way to dance, but it's it's very respectful. We don't try to do something that we're not supposed to do. But it's beautiful, and it's a lot of groups now that are playing rumba in Cuba, and people from Europe, from the United States love it because it's so urban, so popular, so it's from the street,
Can you just play something with the?
Yeah, we can play some rumba for you.
So rumba, so
definitely.
Everyone put the sound to the word, and then we'll talk some more.
Let's do it.
Y corta como navaja, pero a ti te dicen candela, por esa lengua tan larga, que como un cuchillo vuela, y corta como navaja, pero a la pitianzo, candelina le guayo, candelina le guayo, candelina le guayo, nos fuimos. Qué palo maduro me encontré, qué palo maduro tengo yo, qué palo. Oye, el que no es del ambiente de seguro lo nave pasar, pero yo que conozco al elemento, a mí sí que nadie me la va a aplicar. Qué palo maduro me encontré, qué palo maduro tengo yo, qué palo. Pero qué palo maduro tengo yo, caballero, qué palo.
We want to keep playing.
You get it.
You feel it? Do you feel it?
Are you kidding?
So many years ago, Los Van Van came here. I remember them very, very well. We had Buena Vista one time with their beautiful band and singer, everyone. And then I know there's some of these artists. I don't know if they're coming to the States. El Rive and Telmari Diaz. Are they mostly in Cuba? Are they coming to the States also?
Yeah, back and forth. Actually, Tamari's gonna be at the New Orleans Jazz Fest this year.
Oh, nice.
And she was last year on the Jazz Fest. She played with us. Actually, Tamari's in our second record as a special guest.
Telmari is a vocalist.
Yeah, she's a rapper.
A rapper.
Beautiful rapper, a great composer. Yeah.
Okay. And then I understand, how many people here have heard of kind of the godfather of the piano in Cuba, Chucho Valdez? Does anyone know that name? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know who he is.
You do.
I just did
So
a
you
duo.
just did something
Yeah.
special. Tell everyone in
We
San
just did-
Francisco.
amazing. We just did a duo at the SF Jazz Fest.
Mm-hmm.
I was invited with, what is the name of this group from New Orleans?
The Meters. No.
No, it was, anyway, I'm going to remember.
Preservation Hall.
Preservation
Jazz Band.
Hall. Yeah, amazing group
that's
from
it.
New Orleans. So, yeah, it was an amazing experience. It was the first time I played with Chucho Valdez as a duo.
Wow.
It was an amazing experience.
And then you played also with the Preservation Hall Jazz Band?
And yeah, and with the SF Jazz Collective also. So,
And what
amazing.
music were you playing? Were you
Well,
playing their music,
their
or were they
music.
playing your music?
Their music.
You were playing
Yeah.
that kind of jazz, and then you were
Yeah.
playing.
I was
along
doing
with
all
it.
my thing, man. Dancing,
Anybody ever heard the
playing.
Preservation Hall Jazz Band? Right, the original guys from New Orleans.
Amazing, man.
Amazing, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's history. That's a
Yeah,
lot
definitely.
of it's a lot of history there. And then, what are you? Well, I know you've worked also with Sting and
Yeah.
with Paul Simon and a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
American. Talk a little bit.
Thank God, man.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a dream come true. Actually, when I was little, I used to listen to them in the radio, and before I came to Cuba, they started putting them on the TV. So it was so funny because I got a great friend. His name is Robbie Gonzalez. He used to be the drummer of Gato Barbieri for many years. And then his friend Michael Nadada Walden from LA, he used to be the musical director of Whitney Houston band, and he produced the last two records of Whitney Houston. So Sting and Elton John did a project called Rainforest,
Right.
and then he introduced me to those people, and I've been playing with that group for 6 years already.
Wow.
Amazing band. Every year they invite different artists. The first year was Jennifer Hudson, Bruno Mars, Lady Gaga, Bruce Springsteen, and thank
This
God.
is the concert that Sting puts together, or
Yeah, Sting and Elton John at the Carnegie Hall every 2 years. So it was amazing. I did a lot of connections. I did 2 records with Bruce Springsteen because of that. And I did records with Paul Simon, his wife. I played with Paul Simon. It's crazy, man. I can't
You've
believe
been
it.
busy.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great thing, man.
That's great. That's fantastic. And then there's another great young pianist I've heard about. We have not had him here yet. I hope we will. Alfredo Rodriguez. And you have something special with him also. This is a name to keep in mind if you're a fan of great Cuban piano players. I know this gentleman right here is great also. This is the son of a very famous singer, Isaac Delgado, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
okay. He was a great singer.
His father is an icon from Cuban music. He got like 18 records. He's one of the most famous singers from Cuba, his father. And this is his first gig with the group.
Wow.
He just came from Cuba a week ago. He came from Cuba a week ago, an amazing human being and an extraordinary piano player.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, it is
New
exciting.
piano player. Wow, I
Yeah.
know that's big. That's exciting.
Yeah, my piano player went to San Francisco with his wife. He wanted to have some kids and all that. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy to have Isaac Delgado Jr. with
I'm
us.
sure he's going to be great if he's here. I wanted to ask you, so I have a question for you. If someone told you Okay, Pedrito, I have good news, I have bad news. First is the bad news. The bad news is you're being sent to an island in the middle of the ocean for the rest of your life. That's it. Just you. You can have one friend you can bring. There's going to be food, water, electricity. You'll be okay, but you'll never come back.
Okay.
But you can take 5 CDs, 5 records with you, which you're going to listen to because you're never going to die. You're going to forever. 5 CDs that are the ones that you're going to take and be only music you ever get to know how.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know that's tough.
That's the toughest questions.
That's
Many
good.
years. Oh my God.
Whatever comes, the first ones that come to your mind, you know, like love.
Definitely Michael Jackson.
Okay.
One. Celine Dion.
Celine. Okay.
Chaka Khan.
Chaka. Tells you something about what's going to happen tonight.
Cool on the Game.
Who? Cool and the Gang. Nice.
And Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder, yeah, okay. That was good. Stevie Wonder came here last year. It was tremendous. We'll never forget.
But you know, can you give me more CDs?
Yeah,
to bring?
sure. Okay, 5 more.
No, I can bring 100 CDs.
No,
man.
no, that's
I
not-
love so many artists, man. So you know.
What Cuban, if you had one Cuban, you have to pick one Cuban or 2 or 3.
Oh man, Buena Vista Social Club is one of
Buena
those.
Vista, yeah.
Orquesta Aragon,
Orquesta Aragon. It's a beautiful.
Bamban. His father group definitely
Delgado.
Isaac Delgado, and we can we bring our own group? there?
Yes. That would be good. What would you like to tell us about what you're doing now in your group? Just anything that you'd like everyone to understand
Well-
before they hear the show tonight.
First of all, the way we are composing and structuring the music is kind of different. And normally people put some charts, you know, start putting like piano chords and all that. The way I compose is completely different. I'm not a bass player, but I'm a frustrated bass player. All my compositions I do it with the bass very slow, with a click like here. Then I do all the ideas from the beginning to the end. And then I give it to the cat, and they destroy the whole song. That's it. They put it in a better level. No, it's a beautiful thing. You know, this group is. We've been together for 10 years. You know, Isacito is here now with us, but you know, and Seba came like a year and a half ago. But Jair been with me since he was like 9 years old. So he's been with me for 19 years.
Wow.
He know what time I'm going to the bathroom. I'm gonna call my wife. He know everything about my life more than anybody. So, you know, we have an amazing relation as a friend. You know, and that really helped. You know, to bring all the great energy and the spirituality on the stage, man. That's amazing.
Well, we've had you've been here twice before in the wintertime. We have to get you to come in the summertime. I think
Ready,
at
man.
some point.
Anytime, brother.
Yeah, we want you to come back in the summer. But who here, I'm curious, was at one of Pedrito's shows within the last couple of years? Just raise your hand if you were. Okay, good. About half of you.
We're here, right?
Yeah, something fantastic and great energy, great very closeness you can hear in the group. Very, very special. The rhythm is amazing. I think Cuban music has a very special, something very amazing about. There's a lot of things that are amazing about Cuban music, but for me, one of the things that's so amazing is I don't know of any music where the rhythm, the underlying rhythm is as strong. It's just, it's like the propulsion of the music is something just incredible to hear. You can feel it, and everyone feels it. And we see a lot of different music here, very fortunately, at the Jazz Cafe. But when Pedrito comes to town, there's something special that's happening, and I know it's going to happen again tonight, and I'm sure this gentleman is great. I know the compositions are great, And we're very happy to have you, really happy. Okay, I asked Pedrito my questions, and he answered them. Very good answer on the Desert Island Discs. That was really good. That was really good. So we have a few minutes before Pedrito has to go get gussied up for the show. So I'm going to open it up. Anyone would like to ask any question of this gentleman, this wonderful Mr. Martinez? Okay, right here.
How were you able to get out of Cuba back in the 90s?
Actually, a great friend of mine from Canada, from Toronto. Her name is Jen Bonnet, dear friend. She's a saxophone player. And she went to Cuba and she saw me performing on this little place called Casa de Cultura in Havana. So she invited me to perform in Canada for 3 months, and then we have a visa to go to the United States. So when I finished the contract with her, I moved to the United States. Yeah, I was in Canada for. I go to Cuba every year, 3 times a year, and actually we are planning to record our next album in Cuba again.
That's great, fantastic. Okay. Anyone else out there would like to ask Pedrito in the back? Where's home?
Oh, I live in New Jersey. Yeah, we all live in Jersey. Thank God. God bless America, man. Yeah, you know. It's a beautiful country.
You make it more beautiful.
Thank you, man.
Yes.
So I would like to introduce the guys in the group.
Oh, hold on. We have another. Yes. Go ahead.
Who do you see as up-and-coming artists as being influential in the music industry for you?
Say that again?
What young artists coming up today, from anywhere, not just Cuba, you mean America, anywhere. What young artists today do you think are really influencing music in a positive way? Who's really talented that
Well,
makes you
if
think?
you say in a positive way, I have to think. I mean, you know, there's a lot of heat going on radio, social media, but for me are kind of how my daughter say, inappropriate. You know, it's too much about, you know, it's all about money. I don't know, I don't like it, but you know, it's the way it is.
Are there any young artists that you
artists?
really like, and their music is not so shallow, or what you're saying, you know?
Bruno Mars, man.
Yeah, Bruno.
Definitely.
Bruno Mars is
Funky,
special.
so funky.
Funky.
It's a great. Actually, I had the opportunity to be in a concert with him.
Really? Huh?
Yeah, when I did one of those shows with Aspen and John, he was one of the guests. Him and Jennifer Hudson. It was amazing. So you know, it's a lot of great artists out there. You know, just want to make sure that the musicians, you know, be careful with the lyrics, man. You know, it's so important that we send a very, very positive, you know, message to the new generation, and that's essential, you know, because people are going crazy out there and they don't know which way to go. We need to educate people in the new generation, even in the music, you know.
Yes.
Good for you.
Absolutely. Okay. Anyone else out there with a question for Pedrito? Wait, is that a hand up there? I can't. No?
I was just curious if you feel like there are a lot more music venues performing in Havana or in Cuba now.
She's saying, are there more venues when you go back to Cuba? Are the number of venues in Cuba growing? Is there more opportunity in Cuba or not so much? The same.
I don't know, you know. Actually, I've been out of Cuba 19 years already. And every time I go to Cuba, I don't have the opportunity to go to many venues. But when I used to live in Cuba, first of all the orchestra used to play more. In different venues, you know, you used to see different orchestra performing. Now I don't see that. I just see few, because the reggaeton and the urban music are, you know.
It's taken over.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if there's more venues now, but when I used to live in Cuba, there was a lot of venues. You know, Café Cantante, Palacio de la Salsa, many of them. So, ¿tú crees que hay más venues ahora para tocar los músicos en Cuba que antes? Oh, he said that there's more festival and events that people are doing in Cuba than before. Yeah.
Last? No? Okay. We're going to let Pedrito.
I love you hot. Beautiful. I hope you men don't get jealous. I'm not trying to disrespect you. It's a compliment.
So, we're done.
Good.
Do you want to do something quick with them or just you can go?
Let's leave it for the concert.
Okay, good.
All right?
Okay, so thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. Pedrito
you.
Martinez and his group. And they'll be back soon with a great evening of music. Thanks for joining us for the Listen Up series. And please come. This happens every time we have a Jazz Cafe artist on the first night. Thanks for being here.